Hello everyone, Darko 2012 here with Global Government News, and this is part 6 of Red Alert, Government to Attack Internet, Free Speech. And we have Washington Post here, U.S. web tracking plan stirs privacy fears. This is August 11th, 2009, and it says the Obama administration is proposing to scale back a long-standing ban on tracking how people use government internet sites with cookies and other technologies, raising alarms among privacy groups. It says a 2-week public comment period ended Monday on a proposal by the White House Office of Management and Budget to end a ban on federal internet sites using such technologies and replace it with other privacy safeguards. And it says the current prohibition in place since 2000 can be waived if an agency head cites a compelling need. This is an older article, and it's titled AOL Time Warner Censors Alex Jones's Website, Nationwide Blackout, a Clear Attempt to Shut Down Free Speech or Just an Error. That's what they cited the purpose of the blackout and blocks in New Zealand. They said it was just an error, and this is from October 2005. This is part of the Prison Planet Forum, and this is from August 5th, 2008, titled My ISP Has Been Blocked, Infowars.com. It says, well, look, my ISP has been blocked. Starting on the 31st of July, I've been unable to access the Infowars site. This is from May 11, 2007, and it's titled MySpace Admits Censorship of PrisonPlanet.com. Moderator says anything containing URL of website is filtered out. And says in a telling slip-up, a MySpace moderator has admitted that it is MySpace.com policy to censor and filter out posts containing links to PrisonPlanet.com's website, adding that the MySpace server automatically blocks such information. This is an article titled Major International Transport Hub Censors Political Websites. This is when Paul Joseph Watson out of the UK was trying to use Wi-Fi service traveling through St. Pancras. And he says, upon clicking on my favorite menus and selecting prisonplanet.com, I was quickly met with a white screen and bolding black text informing me that the website in question was blocked and could not be accessed. And that was from August 4th, 2008. Here's more of a recent article, ISPs to record all emails and calls, recorded delivery, new data retention law. This is from the London Guardian, and this is from April 2009. Internet service providers are to keep records of emails and online phone calls under controversial new government regulations that come into force today. ISPs will be legally obliged to store details of emails and internet telephony for 12 months as a potential tool to aid criminal investigations. Although the content of emails and calls will not be held, wink wink, ISPs will be asked to record the date, time, duration, and receipts of online communications. Just like the body scanners, yeah, they're not going to record those. Meanwhile, the Indian movie star, Mr. Khan, had his naked pictures printed out. So there you go. This is from the Politico.com, a mainstream site and information source. It says DoD, Department of Defense, to start using Web 2.0. Many young Americans take the internet for granted, even as social networking sites such as MySpace and Facebook reshape the way young people think and act. The great diversity of Web 2.0, where the user controls and shares all kinds of information online, is also influencing the way businesses and institutions work. And it says, and now the Defense Department, that was the main topic of a conference organized by the Information Technology American Association held earlier this week, was not far from the Pentagon. Members of the government, military, industry, and academia discuss how the U.S. military and other government organizations can apply MySpace, Wikipedia, Craigslist, and other e-sources in ways that improve national security. This article, titled Microsoft Executive, Internet Still Not Safe Enough. And this is from CNET News, cnet.com. And this is from April 21st, 2009. It says Microsoft's operating systems are still vulnerable to attacks, but more often than not, it's older versions that are taking the big hits. And he says corporate vice president in Microsoft's Trustworthy Computing Group, when he sat down with me on Tuesday, we chatted about the latest threats, including Configure, the much maligned Windows Vista. He noted wasn't hit the way the older versions in the OS were. Some of those widespread exploits take advantage of older platforms. It said with Windows 7, Microsoft is trying to take security into a few more areas, such as extending encryption to removable devices. There is still a sense that it is not safe enough, Charney said. It was not built for the uses that we currently use it for, all these commercial transactions. So see, remember, the main thing, commerce and what? National security. Same thing. See how it's a kind of a reoccurring trend here? In a nutshell, software is malleable and hardware is harder to tamper with. And here we move to a world governmental body, United Nations Information Centers. UNIC, Moscow participates at the open meeting of the Year of Safe Internet in the Russian Federation Organizing Committee. And this is from last year in August. And it says here, according to the progress report of the committee, the body was up and running and had successfully implemented a wide range of communication, advocacy, and educational activities. Panelists reviewed children's online behavior, cases of harmful and illegal content, cyberbullying, and stressed that threats must be addressed by all actors, including policymakers, regulators, parents, and educators, as well as the industry. In his brief comments, the UNIC director stressed the United Nations' interest towards the protection of children in cyberspace. So then here's the other two reasons why they're going to clamp down is what? For protecting the children and for cyberbullying. So it's they're going to use the hate speech, right? That's how they use it, just not for the internet, but they also use it for just in radio as well, right? Hate speech, and that's what mostly InfoWars and Prison Planet are classified as hate speech. So that's how they kind of block them. And then so it's like, oh, you're not for hate speech or cyberbullying, are you? And that's your First Amendment right? You don't have the right to not be offended. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And of course, you're not for you're not for the not protecting children, are you? So it's kind of like that's to kind of put you in a corner when they create these things to accept them. And of course, so the type of false flag terrorist attack that will be carried out on the internet could be what? It could be some kind of financial commerce, right? Attacking banks or hackers. They'll say hackers, right? And a lot of hackers out there are good people, but they'll just culminate them all into one. So you could have another issue where there's going to be cyberbullying, much like the mother who used her daughter's account and then end up I think the girl next door, her friend, ended up committing suicide or something like that, crazy like that. But they'll use things like that, cyberbullying or hacking into banks or something like that. But just trust me, people, you got to look deep into it and see whether it is legitimate, because that's what they're going to use in order to crack down. And this is federaltimes.com, and it's titled Cybersecurity Through Public-Private Partnership from November 2009. So this is just about 4 months ago. Cybersecurity is one of the biggest and probably most misunderstood national security issues of our time. Yet the public doesn't seem to take the threat seriously. Yeah, we're just so naive and stupid, aren't we? Many argue it will take a cyber 9/11 for the American public to wake up to this issue. So see, I haven't even read this article yet, guys. And so here you go, cyber 9/11, right? Warfare, cyber warfare, Manhattan Project. And so they're even saying it'll take a cyber 9/11 for the American public to wake up. And I think that's all I really need to say, right? This is what they do before they carry out the attacks, right? They say, "Oh, we're gonna take a cyber 9/11." So that means that it's going to be an inside job, just like 9/11, in order to bring out the Patriot Act, in order to justify torturing, in order to justify occupying and droning innocent people and women and children and that. So, and this is the last and final article of this complete series of Red Alert. Government attacking the internet. It says industry should lead cybersecurity partnership 11/3/2009. Industry should take the lead in public-private partnerships addressing cybersecurity, while the federal government reinforces the standards private sector organizations establish. No, the government's going to be used to bring out these things like the Cybersecurity Act of 2009, which they're just passing in the House, and then the monopolistic companies, telecommunication companies, will just be right in line, right? Because it just kills their competition. It makes them more of a monopoly, so they're all about it, right? And they really don't have a choice. So there you go, everybody. Thank you so much for watching these.